Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of our Star Wars Andor review. This one titled The Axe Forgets. I'm going to kick it directly to Alex here. What did you think of episode 5?
It felt like a show that was written by adults for adults. It has characters that feel real. It has a world that feels lived in. It is not Dave Filoni trying to make sense of garbage that George Lucas created in the 1990s. It's not linked to 100 other projects. It's its own thing, and it feels
And
really
gold.
And
it did also create gold. He made garbage and he made gold.
Yeah, but it's really good. It just feels like that. You know, this is a slower thing because they're doing the 3 episode little segments. So this next one
Seems like
so.
that.
This is another setup episode. But you know what? Like, there's conversations that feel natural. Yes, there's people that are acting weird and emotional, but there's also someone in the room like pointing it out, going like, "What are you doing?" There's characters not freaking out to drive conflict. There's no whiffs of CW here. This feels like a grown-up television show, and I love it.
I love it too. It seemed, God, I hope it's doing well because it seems like a lot of boring, and it's not gonna find its audience. But I'm the fucking audience right here. I like this gritty. I like the lived-in world. I like the creation of the rebellion. I think it's good character drama, good character arcs. Now, yes. It's another build-up episode. So if you want to be disappointed that it's like, hey, we're going to do the heist next episode, and then we don't do the heist next episode, we do the build-up to the heist in this episode. And like I said, I don't think it lends itself well to individual episodes every week. And I think it's probably, grating on some people. It's 3 episode chunks like we suspected, and I wish they would release it in 3 episode chunks because it's a movie that has literally been sliced up. It is a movie that's been sliced up because they don't, when you're writing, what do you call it? Serialized. When you're doing that, you kind of have a conflict, and then there's a resolution and all that shit. There's none of that here. They're just telling the story week by week at less than an hour at a time. But it doesn't feel rushed like other series on Disney Plus. This one feels lived in. What do you think, Joe?
I'm liking this one already. Like, even though it's just a setup, it like people talking like they normally would, and none of the stupid stuff, and like the tension's still there. Like between the team up, like you just inject somebody in, everyone's like kind of suspicious about everyone,
right?
And I'm liking that kind of conversation, that kind of drama, because it's not forced. It's just like what would happen in the real world. Is that we don't know anybody about this character, but
it's not rushed.
It's
like
mysterious.
if this was other pacing like Disney has done in the past, even Star Wars, Disney Plus stuff, that would have been the most we saw of it. But this is an entire episode dealing with that. In fact, at some points, a dude just attacks him with a fucking knife. We get a little bit more suspicion between these two. Why are you here? So we get that. This shirtless dude, he's here for revenge. And
then the guy explains his tattoos. So
explaining his tattoos, been in jail, the Empire and shit, and had to, So we flesh out some of these characters so that there is a little bit of tension if somebody were to not make it out alive. We get the little kid. He's eloquent. He's an eloquent motherfucker. He's writing a manifesto. You like him. I like him. I think he's a cool character. Complex. And they go over some of the other team members. Like that chick's a badass. That one leads us.
Healer.
And they're wondering, though, if Lieutenant Gore or whatnot the guy on the inside, whether he can pull that off. So we get a little bit of scenes of how he's setting that up and kind of convincing the Empire, showing his deceptions and how he's going to set up the potential opening that they need in order to pull this off. We also get some of the husband and Mon Mothma stuff. Her daughter is introduced. She's got a daughter, gives her a bunch of shit. Clearly, her husband is kind of pitting her daughter against each other, and then also her job and her loyalties is probably straining the relationship at home. Daughter's just do whatever you need to do. You don't need my dad is gonna take me. So she's like isolating herself. Like, oh shit. Hopefully this doesn't lead to, I don't know. What do you think? I don't think I've seen Mon Mothma's daughter anywhere. So
Space divorce.
either
gonna
space
get the kid.
divorce or a fucking car bomb by the Empire kills her daughter, and she's like, oh, fuck no, I'm going to take the entire Empire down. I don't know if the daughter is still alive in Star Wars lore. I apologize to all lorists if they're like, Joe, she's clearly next to her in A New Hope. Anyways, so it's just they're practicing. They're practicing like a soldier. Training. Andor asserts himself and actually provides sage advice and, has a purpose on the team. In fact, they realized a problem in the hut. They say basically they didn't take something into account, and Andor's like, well, he points it out, and he's like, I'm gonna pilot, and if they didn't have him, they'd be fucking screwed. A TIE fighter does reveal them though. This TIE fighter's on patrol, and it does kind of a fucking what do you call it? Buzzing the tower kind of thing. I guess it was the Empire just being a jerk, right? He just thinks that they're like farmers and shit. He's like, because the kid makes a comment. It's like, they're trying to scare us from above, but we're gonna fuck them up.
Yeah.
From below. I'm like that. I like it. It's smart writing, good stuff, and he basically. This dude is touching his shit, and he's just trying to figure out Andor, this shirtless guy. I forget his name. And it creates tension, and the tension, I believe it. But eventually, over the campfire, they kind of are bonding, sharing, drinks and stuff. And I think that they're kind of becoming comfortable with each other until the dude attacks him and realizes he got a kyber crystal. He's like, look, this motherfucker's having a $30,000 credit card. Who the fuck is he? Et cetera, et cetera. And that's when Andor does the thing that said, don't fucking do this. He reveals himself as a mercenary. But it was the right choice because the team feels he reveals what he is, right? So they feel a little better. Okay, he's a piece of shit. Okay, but all right. He told us
but he's our piece of shit.
He's our piece of shit, kind of thing. So they feel a little bit better about each other. And then the two girls separate from the group to do their thing. They didn't. Did I miss it? They didn't say what they're doing. So that's going to be revealed later. So this lady's like, you don't need to know that. You fucking worry about your own shit. So again, another build-up episode, and we are definitely getting the heist next episode. Luthen is briefly showed being very worried about this plan. This is obviously important to him, and it's like, just relax. It's in their hands now. If they're dead, then they're dead. If they succeed, then we're going to have a lot more work ahead of us. So, like I said, I think the 3-episode chunks because, you had the last episode building up the heist. You got this one where they're like, okay, the team is assembled. Now we trust each other. Let's get the job done. Then the last one will be
Someone's
the conclusion.
Gonna die.
Like I said, 3-episode chunks. And so if there's 12 episodes, then you can see very neatly that we're going to get this one, and then we'll have 2 more. So I'm excited for the future of the series. I know many people have probably dropped off by now saying this is boring or something, but I am still involved. Are you? Let's go to final verdicts.
I'm going to go with an 8. I like the pacing on this. It was written competently. Tension was still there.
Yep.
And,
Even though there was not a single explosion.
No, it doesn't need to be explosion all the time. Like, just drama could happen naturally, and this feels like it's naturally.
Okay.
It's not forced.
Yeah, I liked it probably better than that. I'm gonna probably go with a 9. I think there's nothing wrong with setting things up because I think the opposite that we see in a lot of like some other shows where there is no journey and it's just like the start and destination, and there's nothing satisfying about just fucking getting there and doing the thing if you don't set up these characters. I've watched every heist movie that there is. If you don't get to know the team and one of them dies, you feel nothing. And so this is important. Like, and if you don't, like, this isn't for you, there's tons of other shit to watch, but this is for me. And I like learning about the teams. I like learning about how the universe is moving. And again, I think they did a really, really good job with the world building and making me feel like every one of these characters are important. Even that fucking ex-security officer guy.
Oh, we forgot about 2 things.
With his mom. It's just like they're setting him up for something,
Yeah.
and he hates these fucking people, and he's going to be important. And then there's the Imperial officer lady who's sniffing that's like, wait, this is random but not random. It feels like they're setting something up, and they're setting things up, and it all feels important, and we don't even know why yet. And so I really like this stuff, and I'm hoping it does well. And if you're bored, don't watch it until all 3 of them are out. Watch them in 3 episode
Yes,
chunks.
that's
So
what I
it's
was
like
gonna say.
it's like I'm not look. It's totally Disney's fault. 100% Disney's fault for doing it in this way. They should have been doing it the way that Stranger Things did. I'm just gonna say that for every one of these episodes. Release shit like the way Stranger Things did. Give us the first 6, and then wait a month for the last 3, and I think people will like it better. But I'm not going to fault the showrunners for that because I think everyone's acting their asses off, writing their asses off, and I really like it.
Agreed. So 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I am also an 8 out of 10, mainly because a little bit of what was said there. And I just know that this is going to be very rewatchable. Like once this is done and you watch it all the way through, you're going to appreciate it so much more. For all those particular reasons that we're actually building the characters, we're actually caring about being fucking adults and not skipping through everything so we can get to the next fucking explosion. So it is compelling drama, basically, and I'm curious how well it's doing. I don't have any information on that, but I don't really see a lot of people talking about it on Twitter. Don't see it in the social space really hitting like fucking She-Hulk does every week, or Rings of Power every week, because people are screaming and yelling about it, right? Or House of the Dragon, where this is excellent and this is so much better than Rings of Power kind of discussion. I feel like Andor's kind of flying under that radar, and it deserves more attention. And we're giving it to it. So definitely watch it. Come along with the ride for us, and we will see how this heist concludes and who makes it out. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.